This is criminal barrister Robert Rimbaud. He spent his career fighting for justice. Now he's ready to rule in ITV's court.
The song that's the subject of this dispute is, what's it called?
I Have Dreams.
Along comes you, Mr. Beany. You tell me what moronic thing you changed the name to.
I love beans. If Rembrandt had stuck his picture on the wall and somebody...
Just bear with me a moment whilst I get my pad out. You were telling me about Rembrandt.
Yeah, if somebody comes along and defaces it with a pair of glasses with a black marker, right?
Well, that's criminal damage.
Yes.
It's not quite breach of copyright.
No.
I love beans. They taste as sweet as a pea. I break wind for all of you to see.
Lord.
You got to just...
I've certainly got something, yes.
Craig and Debbie are in court to claim £500 for copyright infringement after the lyrics to their song were altered and uploaded to the internet without their permission. Defendant Captain Beany says the song was intended as a joke, and as he has taken the video down and not made a profit from this, he owes nothing.
Do I have Craig and Debbie here today?
You do,
Yes.
Thank you very much. Your name, sir, is Captain Beany, am I right?
Correct, Judge Rinder, yes.
Now, just to be clear, you weren't born Captain Beany.
No.
No, you changed your name by deed poll to Captain Beany. Just to be clear, I'm right to say, I see you've got a tattoo on your hand.
Yeah.
For the avoidance of doubt, that is a tattoo of baked beans, am I right?
Correct, yes.
I see. Would you mind turning around so I could have a look at it? Well, I suppose it looks more to me like paisley, but there you are. But in your case, you did it for charity, am I right?
I did indeed, yes.
Now, it's important for the case, which I'll come on to in a moment. You do a lot of things with baked beans for charity.
Indeed, I have.
You've done a good deal of that over the years. You tell me the top 3 things you've done for charity with baked beans.
I spent a considerable amount of hours in a bath of beans for 100 hours. And,
How much did you raise for charity?
we raised about £1,500 for a minibus appeal, and...
What's that in your hand?
Well, I thought I'd have breakfast in bed, as you can see.
Oh, right, so you've got the beans, someone provided you the toast?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
What was the second?
I pushed a tin of baked beans for a mile with my nose, on my hands and knees.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well...
Lastly, I think most recently, you've also done something else with a baked bean, haven't you? Raised money?
Well, the consequences, as you can see on my head, we managed to raise £3,600 with having people to sponsor a bean and have the initials endorsed on them.
So each bean has a person's initials endorsed on your head?
That's right, yeah.
Now, this is a very interesting case. Craig and Debbie, as I understand it, you work in entertainment and have done for many years.
Yes,
and amongst other things, you are very serious songwriters.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you about that in a moment. And you've written a song which you say that you invented between the two of you, because you're a songwriting partnership. And what's more, you say you have copyright over that song.
This is correct.
You say, knowing that you had the copyright to that song, Captain Beany took the song that you made, that you produced and spent some money producing, and stole it and changed the words. And what's more, he attempted to distribute it. And you want money for damages and also the cost of the original production of the song, correct?
Correct, yes.
What exactly do you do, the two of you?
We're singer-songwriters. We work in the music industry. I do music production at the side of that.
Now, there came a time when you actually did write a song, and the song that's the subject of this dispute is, what's it called? I
Have Dreams.
When was this produced?
This was produced just last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
OK, let's have a listen. That's it? That's very sort of what somebody might call, I'm reliably informed by my clerk, as Euro pop type thing.
Yeah,
is
yes.
that,
You could say that,
is that
yes.
about right? Sort of quite Eurovision.
Yeah.
How much did the studio time and all the cost of it add up to?
because we work in our own studio, we don't work with outside studios, it would have cost a hell of a lot more, but...
You say in your claim, which is the only amount I can assess, that it's £500, roughly.
Yes, that's what we narrowed it down to, yes.
Right, and you narrowed that down to production costs, etc., the costs of putting together that song, and I accept, for the purposes of the record, that it probably did cost that much.
Yeah.
How did you plan to distribute the song?
We distribute it through MP3 and WAV formats, and basically in software with all the separates, and it gets sent to the record company.
Or it might go through other medium like YouTube, and as I understand it was on YouTube, correct?
Yes, yes.
Now, people don't buy it on YouTube, but nevertheless, you use that as an advertising platform.
Yes, we do, yes.
Splendid, very helpful. Now, along comes you, Mr. Beany.
Yeah.
And you heard this song for the first time, the song I Have Dreams. We're getting there soon. It's a bit like Dr. Seuss for morons. Because having heard the song I Have Dreams, how long ago? When did you first hear it?
Well, in retrospect, I heard it, obviously, at the beginning of the year.
Right, at the beginning of the year, you heard the song I Have Dreams, and you thought, that's a nice song. So you thought you'd do your own version of it, called Quelle Surprise. That's French for, do tell me what moronic thing you changed the name to.
I love beans.
I need to get some assessment of whether there are similarities between the song they invented and produced and your version. So, firstly, I need to see the lyrics or a recording of it. And as I understand it from your reply, Captain Beany, you don't have a recording, am I right?
No, not now, no.
Right. So, I'm reliant upon you to give me a demonstration of the song. I know I'm going to regret this. Here's your moment, Captain Beany.
Thank you. I love beans, they taste as sweet as a pea. I break wind for all of you to see. My beans are free, they all belong to me. Baked beans, they so good for me. Baked beans, they make you fat. You got to just...
I've certainly got something, yes. Where did you hear Captain Beany's version first?
He said, you want to have a listen to my new song, a rendition. So I said, OK. He stuck it up on YouTube, and he messaged it, I think, across Facebook or something, and he stuck it up, and we were having a little bit of a drink at the time, and we thought it was quite funny, and then as the night grew on, we got a little bit angrier and thought, wait a minute, this isn't right, this is copyright infringement.
What made you think when you heard the song that there was a similarity? Because I don't have that evidence, because I understand it, that song has now been removed from YouTube. Was it to the same music?
Yes.
Yes, it was to the same tune as well, the same way it was sung. It was singing her part, but he was singing I have beans, they fire back on me. That was the things he was singing.
So what was that you did for me, that little rapette, or whatever it was?
He was doing his rap.
Well, what it is,
Oh, hang on, is there a rap in the actual song?
He does a rap, and he was doing it similar.
I see, well, that's important.
Raps are similar, but raps are different at
No,
the same time.
It's fine.
I don't
Was there a rap in the song that Captain Beany was emulating in his example there?
Well, he was rapping because I think he's just mocking the raps.
What did you do to protect the copyright in respect of this song?
Well, straight after it gets written, and not the finished production, but the production as to which it's going to sound, we have to upload it to the Performing Rights Society of Music.
Very good, and you've done that.
Yes.
And in fact, you've even got a document which demonstrates that you do have what I'm going to call ownership of that song. Can I see it, please?
Yes, of course.
Thanks very much. It's a very sensible thing to do.
Yes.
Now, even if you didn't have that, thank you very much. Now, I've seen that document. It's there, and it demonstrates clearly that you do have copyright.
Yes.
Now, I want to be clear. Even if... Over here, Mr. Beany. Even if you hadn't got that piece of paper, I should be clear, I would have found that you had copyright in any event, because I'm perfectly satisfied it was an original song or work.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily need to have done this, but this is just an extra piece of documentation which satisfies me that you do have legal ownership of it.
Yes.
Now, at the time you produced this piece of work and put it on YouTube, did you ask Craig and Debbie's permission, or did you check whether they had copyright?
I didn't think of that at the time.
No. What did you say that he should do?
I told him if he could remove it, please. I says because it's criminal activity, because you're copywriting. You're doing copyright theft. It's infringement of the song.
That's true.
You know, and
nobody's going to send Mr. Beany to prison.
No.
And if you called 999, I suspect they may have more important things.
Yes, of course, yes.
But nevertheless, you are right. It is a breach of copyright, and that can be a criminal offence.
Yeah. Well, you've got to look at it the other side as well. If Rembrandt had stuck his picture on the wall and somebody...
Just bear with me a moment whilst I get my pad out.
OK.
It's here. I need to write it down in big. You were telling me about Rembrandt.
Yeah, or even Picasso.
Yeah, or even.
Yeah. If these artists have painted a fantastic picture of somebody's face and somebody comes along and defaces it with a pair of glasses with a black marker, it's criminal.
Yes.
And that's copyright
Well,
infringement.
that's criminal damage.
Yes.
It's not quite breach of copyright.
No, no.
No, I understand. That, yes, if it happened to... What's the name of your group, or is it just Craig and Debbie?
No, we're called Zed and Sapphire.
Zed and Sapphire,
Yes.
Rembrandt and Picasso.
Yeah.
Yes, I see.
Coming next.
Captain Beany, I want to give you a full opportunity to respond to anything Craig and Debbie have said that you feel hasn't been dealt with in the course of this case.
I deleted my YouTube version straight away.
Too late by then. You'd already done it. For want of...
Craig and Debbie are in court to claim £500 for copyright infringement after the lyrics to their song were altered and uploaded to the internet without their permission. Defendant Captain Beany says the song was intended as a joke, and as he has taken the video down and not made a profit from this, he owes nothing.
What's the injury, the financial injury to you?
It could be quite big.
Well, that's the point. Put it that way. The answer to me, in fairness to you, and you framed your case perfectly well, is that it could be quite big. Thank you.
Yes.
It's speculative.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, Captain Beany, I want to give you a full opportunity to respond to anything Craig and Debbie have said that you feel hasn't been dealt with in the course of this case.
I do totally apologise, most emphatically, for infringing any copyright on his song. Like I said, I cordially deleted my YouTube version straight away.
Too late by then. You'd already done it. Craig and Debbie, you produced, I'm perfectly satisfied, an original work.
Yeah.
You've been able to provide documentation which gives you legal ownership of that song. Now, in order for me to come to a determination that somebody's breached the copyright, I don't just need an admission from the respondent, which I've got in this case. Yes. I need to be satisfied that there's real similarities, which, from what you tell me, but not from which I have heard here today, there probably was, I'm satisfied, a real similarity between the version that you produced and the one that Captain Beany put on YouTube. So to that extent, legally, you win your case. But then I move on to the substance of the case, because I don't come to a view that you've suffered any loss as a result of his breach. In particular, because tomorrow you can go out, put that back on YouTube, and it may do perfectly well. And I'm not satisfied his breach of copyright has caused any damage, any financial damage, to the success of the song. Therefore, the court comes to this determination. I am satisfied he's breached your copyright, but I have to dismiss the value of your claim of being £500. So you win in principle, and this court awards you the very princely sum of 1p. That's the award of this court. You win a moral victory. That doesn't mean I have a particularly high or colourful opinion of you. That's the award of this court. 1p.
Thank you, Judge.
Craig and Debbie won their case, and the court awarded them a token 1p. Let's find out how both parties felt about today's ruling.
Well, I've no hard feelings at the end of the day. I mean, he was a very good friend, and I'm sure he could still be a very good friend, so I'll give him a second chance on that.
What I did was totally my fault. I didn't, like I say, tend to really know all about the music industry. I do sincerely apologise. I didn't really mean to jeopardise your future career.
OK. I put it down to Captain Beany's ignorance of the music business. He didn't truly know what he was really doing. And we've set the record straight, and I'm glad that we actually won the case. And, well, game, set and match, I'm happy.